Hey, what's up YouTubers? Mike Borders with the Mike Borders channel. Thank you for watching. Today we're talking reverse osmosis systems, and unfortunately we have a leak in our faucet at the base. So in this video we are going to run you through the step-by-step procedures on how to remove the entire faucet and replace that base. Let's do it. And here's the reverse osmosis faucet that we are referencing. Below the sink now, this is your pressure tank. And the first thing we need to do is shut the water off to the reverse osmosis system. And that valve is actually right behind this Tupperware dish. Squeeze in here and shut that water line. Just like that. Back up at the top of the faucet, next we need to drain the entire tank. So shift the faucet knob to the full on position and let all that water flow out of the tank. After all the water is completely drained out, shift your attention down below. This pressure tank is much lighter now that it is empty, and we can now pick it up and move it out of the way. I pulled the tank out. In most cases, you will have access to the underside of the reverse osmosis faucet. Unfortunately, in our case, we don't have good access until we remove the garbage disposal. So in the event that you need to remove your garbage disposal, I will link a video at the top. Click on that. Runs you through the step-by-step process on how to remove that garbage disposal, as well as the importance of turning off your water supply. Garbage disposal is removed. Now we have a lot more room to get underneath the sink and gain access to the lines that feed all the way up to the underside of the reverse osmosis system under the countertop. Next thing I want to point out, since we've removed the garbage disposal, there's nothing down there to catch the water. So do yourself a favor, do not turn the faucet on at this point, because guess what? It's going all over. There is nothing to catch it. Go ahead and turn the faucet off. And now it's time to access a hex nut on the back side of the faucet. Let's go ahead and remove that. Next, what we will do is shift the entire faucet to the left very carefully. And it should be very easy to move because this bottom base should be secure by the locking mount below. So again, just be careful as you shift that. And we will carefully pull this up and you will see the actual water line that is connected. At this point, carefully pull up, and on the underside of this faucet is a press clamp. You will remove this line by pushing up and pulling the water line off. Unfortunately, I couldn't show you while I was doing it because I needed both hands. However, again, on the bottom side, you see that gray plastic insert. Just by pressing that up, it will release two hooks on the top portion, which will then release this water line. Redirecting our attention to the actual base on the inside, you'll see that Phillips screw. Go ahead and loosen up that screw, because what that does, as you loosen it, it will then loosen up from the actual mounting bracket underneath the faucet, which in return loosens up this entire base to allow you to pull it up and off. After loosening this Phillips screw, this is what the actual mounting bracket on the underside looks like. At this point, carefully pull this base up. There's the Phillips screw. It's pretty long. On the bottom side, those two additional black water lines that go into the base, they go into a mount that is secured to the bottom portion of the base by two Phillips screws, one there and one on the opposite side. Let's go ahead and remove these. There it is. Both Phillips screws are removed, and this is what the part that goes into the base of the faucet looks like. From here, let's go ahead and remove these water lines. Our water lines were pretty tricky to get off. So the last thing we wanted to do was really tug those lines off the actual part and at the same time possibly harm the water lines. So what we did is we took measurements of the actual line and noticed that we had a lot of line to play with. So we went and grabbed our hex pipe cutters and cut the lines as they butted up against the actual part. We can now slowly and carefully remove this entire base from that water line. Set that aside. Here's the box for the new base. Let's go ahead and open that. All the parts are out of the box, and this is cool. It came with a new hex screw as well as the actual tool that fits the hex screw. It comes with a new screw as well as the mounting bracket that secures itself to the underside of the sink. It comes with a new rubber gasket, and here's the base. It comes with all the part that we just recently removed with those two Phillips screws and the water lines. So from here, let's go ahead and reinsert the water lines onto this base. In the event that you've forgotten which one goes where, the small line will go onto the small prong, and the large line will go onto the large prong. As you can see here, we're starting to get halfway on. Continue until that line is above both of those little grooves. Small water line is on and secure, continuing on with the larger water line. Both water lines are on. Now it's time to grab this one and feed this through the underside of the base and feed it all the way through. Now let's twist off this lower brace, insert this Phillips screw into that hole, attach this mounting brace on the underside, and secure this base to the countertop. I do want to point out, prior to securing this base to the countertop, make sure that this rubber gasket is properly positioned on the bottom side of the faucet. You want to make sure that you position that mounting brace in a way that it's securing itself on both sides of the hole, as well as not crimping or harming any of the water lines that feed through the hole into the bottom portion of the faucet. Come back up and slowly tighten this Phillips screw. Make sure that that rubber gasket is in place and the base is positioned the way you want. Next step is important, this little rubber gasket that goes on the top of the base. Make sure that that is properly aligned and positioned. Let's go ahead and grab the faucet, secure this water line back into this press clamp below, and slowly lower the faucet onto the base. Water line is secure, slowly lower the faucet onto the base, position the tabs properly, and shift it back into the securing position. That looks good, it's aligned properly. Grab the new hex screw and insert it on the back side. Now let's shift our attention back down below and start reversing the steps. We are going to reinstall the garbage disposal. Garbage disposal is back on. Pressure tank is repositioned. Now let's turn the water supply back onto the house and allow that tank to pressurize itself with water. Water valve is in line with the water line. That means it's open and water can flow through. It is now safe to use the faucet. And one of the last things we want to do is insert a brand new battery. And to do that, there's two tabs here. Just shift this out. We will position the battery into the actual prong there. So if you're looking at the piece that goes into the faucet as such, the writing will be on the lower portion and the top portion will be blank. Let's go ahead and reposition this into the faucet. During the time the pressure tank is filling with water, look around all the lines, all the parts, and verify that nothing is leaking. That's it. I hope the video helped. Hey, do us a favor. Below the video, you will see that thumbs up icon. Click on that, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Definitely turn on your YouTube notification bell, because if you do that, every video that we upload, you will be notified. You will be able to stay up to date with us, and that will be awesome. Thanks again.